Welcome to Other People's Shoes. This season, we're exploring what it means to be unmade. Life can sometimes feel like an unmade bed. Messy, chaotic, and overwhelming. But here's the beauty. Every unmade bed has the potential to be remade. In Season 20, we're sharing powerful stories of people who faced their life's chaos head-on and found the courage to rebuild, turning their messes into masterpieces. Just like starting your day with a simple act of making your bed, these stories remind us that small steps can lead to extraordinary transformations. So put on your shoes and take the first step toward remaking your own life. You're about to be inspired, challenged, and encouraged in ways you never expected. This is Other People's Shoes, Season 20. Unmade. And now, here's your host, Neil Matthews.
Yes, welcome in once again. Other People's Shoes. Unmade, Season 20. Where has the time gone? You know what's interesting to me is I am not much of a cold cereal fan. Now listen, I have my favorite. It is probably, it's a tie. It's probably Captain Crunch or Lucky Charms. It's probably a tie for two. My wife, though, she loves cold cereal. In fact, fun fact about Elizabeth, she'll probably pinch me for this. If we go camping, she will actually eat cold cereal more often than not while we're camping because it's easy. Milk, you need a bowl, you need a spoon, that's it. That's all. No mess, no fuss. Food is taken care of. We'll come home sometimes late night and she'll go, I'm hungry. I think I'm going to eat a bowl of cereal. Or I'll say sometimes, hey, babe, what's for dinner? And she's like, well, I'm having cereal. I don't know what you're going to have. I bring all that about because when I think about Missouri, big transition here, I think about a tiger. It made me think about Frosted Flakes. And you're like, what does Missouri and a tiger and Frosted Flakes have to do with today, Neil? Well, hold that thought. We'll get to that momentarily. Maybe it's because my guest hails from the Show Me State. And again, when I think of tigers, I think of Missouri. And I think of, what is that called again? They're great Frosted Flakes. So help me welcome in my friend Billy because he's gonna be great. Billy, how are you today?
I'm good. How about you, man? Appreciate the introduction.
All prepared. We were ready for Billy. We're like rolling out the red carpet. We got the paparazzi outside that we had to dodge to get you in today. I'm really excited you're here.
Man, I appreciate you, man. It's really a blessing. It really is.
Well, we'll see if you say that at the end. People start with that, and then I'm not sure if it ever ends that way.
Well, I already know it's going to be a great one. Anybody who's interviewing and they got a Jordan on a mic, on the front of a mic, you got to be doing something awesome. You know what I'm saying? You got to be incredible to stick a shoe on the front of a mic. I'm sorry. I'm stuck right there. I'm good. So, yes.
You're the second. I don't say anything. I haven't said a word about the mic. I haven't talked about it. You are the second. And by the way, both have been dudes. You and a guy named Nathan have said, hey, what is with the shoe at the end of the mic? What's going on there?
It's awesome. That's all I'm going to tell you, man. You know, the uniqueness, man, all of that. When I look at the room, we'll be on here. But you asked me, do I have an hour? Do you have 2 hours? That's
I like it already, Billy. Thanks so much for being here today. We really appreciate you. I want to give a shout out, though, to your gal, Lady J.
Yes.
And I'm purposely saying her name that way because, again, like I was telling you in the preliminary, the Blue Room, she was so good in connecting us and helping us get connected. And I want to give her a shout out of acknowledgement. And I do think knowing is half the battle. That's what I laughed about, that she reminded me of the G.I. Joe character, Lady J. Shout out to you, Lady J. Thank you so much for all the help with Billy.
Yep, Lady J, Eagle Entertainment. We appreciate you.
So, Billy, help us with this as we get going and rolling. And that it's this idea of, if we could ask this, if it's not too personal, what size shoes do you wear?
I wear 12.
Now, you brought up the Jordan brand.
Yes.
There'd be another brand of shoe on your foot other than Jordan, perhaps.
Jordan, man. And I'm a number one Jordan fan. I wish I would have been in the room where I was at so I can show you my little collection. I have the ones, those first ones he came out with. I have so many of those. Like you said, you get pinched, I'll probably get punched for all the shoes I have in the room. I mean, it is crazy how many ones I have. I'm just a fanatic. I'm a Jordan 1 fanatic.
Okay, Billy. So I'm going to take you on a journey here for a second. I went to Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I'm a big Tar Heels fan, as you might imagine.
I can see.
You can see that. I went there, and before I went, I actually bought a pair of Jordan 11s, and they sit right back behind here. I don't know if you can see them okay,
Yeah.
but they sit right next to the Ram. Those have never actually touched ground in Oregon.
Okay.
I wore them in the Dean Smith Center.
Mhm.
I wore them around Chapel Hill. I got back on a plane to come to Oregon. I put them in my bag.
Put them up.
They have not touched Oregon ground. They've only been on Carolina soil. And people think that's weird and funny. Neil, you need help. So help my friends understand that's next level, right?
It's all the way. That's on a main level. You see that behind you? Behind me, main level. I had to put that all together. That's on the
I
main
see
level.
that. I set you up for that.
No, we all have certain things that we have and certain things we do and certain things that are special to us. Whatever that is, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that. If that's what you want to do and you want to put those up, hey, I'm great. I'm great with that. I love it. Love, again, the uniqueness. I love the certain things that we all have that we put in place that means something to us. That's our memory.
And it is. It's a great
Yeah.
memory. Roy Williams autograph, Carolina old head coach right above me here. He signed it that day too, the jersey. You can't see it. It's off camera. I promise it's there.
Remember, he was in Kansas as well.
I was not going to bring that about. I was not going to bring that up.
And my son got me with Kansas. And so it was a Roy. I mean, I'm talking about forever. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
I can't stand the Jayhawks. I'm just saying. Just
Okay.
can't. I want to punch him in the face every time I see a Jayhawk and a Blue Devil. Like if they were together, I wouldn't know. I'd have to flip a coin like which one I'd want to punch first. The Devil mascot or the Jayhawk mascot. Like I would have to like rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right. Well, speaking of main level or next level.
Yes, sir.
I love this season that we're in, this messiness, this unmade bed. So I'm wondering about this for you, Billy. When you think of the word unmade, how does that resonate or how does that apply to Billy's story and Billy's life?
Yeah. So, man, oh, that was so good. So in that, you talk about unmade. That resonates like big time because I was, if we can use the word again, unmade, I was an unmade individual before I am who I look like right now. Like when I tell people all the time, I am the clean version of what people didn't see. Some people might have seen the dirty version. You know how we got music. It's music that was on the radio and you say that's the unclean, like you said, unmade. That was the unclean version. Then you had the clean version. The unclean version of me was not that good. I thought I was better than what I was. And it's just like the unmade. The unmade individual was a person who was walking in unforgiveness. The unmade person was a womanizer, was a person who looked at himself as being a nice person, but didn't show the nice parts all the time. And there was a sneaky part about that person. So when we look at unmade, there was a lot of things that I would say about me that was unmade, that I was not yet in that place to be made up so that I can be that place where you would want to, we say a bed, where you would even want to lie on, that you want to be part of. I'm still in a place of being made even better, even where I am right now. Man, there's so many parts of where I was incredibly crazy. I was a person who had some things that happened to me like we all do and made me a little rough around the edges. In relationships, even as a friend, I probably wasn't always the best friend. So when we talk about the unmade, I had all of those parts that wasn't the best. And the people that were around me, some of them thought, because they were probably unmade as well, and they probably thought that it was a good place until now. And they see as I've become a different person and being more made in God's image, now I guess they can see the difference in where I was and where I am and where I'm becoming. That's me.
One of the things that was sent to us was this line that really caught my attention when I was sitting in federal prison.
Yes.
Can you take me to that
Yes.
spot in federal prison, that jail? I'm assuming jail cell or prison cell.
Yes. I was 17 years old, graduated when I was 17 years old out of high school. And I had an opportunity to go to Lincoln University, which is Jefferson City, Missouri, from Springfield, Missouri, for music. And I decided that I was going to not just go right then and just wait a little bit. And I began to hang with some guys that were drug dealers that was out in the streets. And at the time, they didn't come off as drug dealers at the time. It was just like, hey, one of my good friends was saying, hey, man, I got a car dealership. He was saying he was partners with that. And so I just took that in like, oh, that's cool. And so he took a liking to me, which I didn't realize at the time that he was one of the biggest dealers around in our city. As I began hanging with him, as he took a liking to me, I got into the streets heavy, started really selling drugs, and not on the small side on the corners. I was selling masses to those who were on the corners, spiraled down where I was eventually kicked in on and then indicted federal at 18 years old, 19. I was 19 years old and I was indicted. So I was a young kid pretty much, and ended up landing me into, most people know as one of the biggest prisons was Leavenworth Penitentiary, Leavenworth, Kansas. Ended up in it in a holding facility first, and then out on bond, and then sentenced. Wasn't sentenced to what man said I should have gotten, because it was my first time experiencing it. I was young. They have a number system and all the things. I was looking at more years, but I was sentenced for 7 years. I ended up getting 3.5 on that sentence. That's what I ended up with. Incredibly crazy when I think about it now at the young age that I was. I was so young, and all the things that was going on, I ended up running. And I ran from, when I was out on bond, I ran. It's put me on Kansas City Most Wanted at the same time. So I went from a young guy that had potential to go to school and do my music, where I am now, which I should have been. And I ended up in the streets, in prison, looking back at myself. Now, in the middle of all of that, before all of that had occurred at the 17-year-old, even in that time, I got in trouble before, in that same mix. Before the federal thing happened, I had got another case for gun charges. So I was really in a crazy place in my life. And again, and I'll say this is all in the surroundings, our culture, the people that we find ourselves with. We think things are cool and we think things look good, and they're not. I ended up with that case, which ended up spiraling down again even further, that after I got off of that case, the Lord actually helped me out of that case. And I said, Lord, if you get me out of this one, I promise you I won't do it again. We have that same story. Boom. Not even a year, not even a month later, after I was about to get off of that case, when I got kicked in on for the drug case, which ended up giving me more time on that. End up doing that time in a county, and then got out from there and was indicted federally. So it was a lot going on at a young age, from the 17 up to 19, in 2 years, all of these things that occurred. And so I found myself in a prison looking at myself and saying, man, I was not raised up that way. My mother and father have worked all my life. I was raised up in a 2-home. So when you hear people saying it was a broken family, I don't have that excuse. My mother and father to this day are married almost 60 years to this day. So I can't use that as an excuse. It was ignorance, and it was me. It was that thing that's inside of us a lot of times, that curiosity, that thing that, and looking at around us, seeing something different versus looking at my father as a contractor, a construction worker, of knowing that that's really a good deal, and what they have done and what they have set before me, and looking at other lifestyles thinking that's really what I want. Found myself in all of that. I ended up doing the federal time. In that time, help other people to see that, believe me, that lifestyle, that life is not for anybody, and is never conducive to having a true life that is worthy of being others, or being part of my family now, like my children, my wife, and others, to live upright. Let me say that. That's a major part that happened. And that right there was a great lesson in my life.
What did that 17-year-old, maybe 18-year-old, 19-year-old young man need that you could maybe give him that you have now, to maybe switch his perspective?
Jesus.
Wow, that was pretty simple. I was like, that's it. I mean, that's a great answer. Don't get me wrong. That is an amazing answer. But
and I'll give you more than that. Sometimes people are like, well, that's it. I mean, so
that's a big one, but yeah.
That's major. I still didn't have the fullness. You're asking me now, what would I give him? I would.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could give him a gift, or give him something to shift his perspective, or to help him out of that, realizing that this isn't the life he wants, what would that be? And you said Jesus.
It would be Jesus. It would be, and I'm talking about sound doctrine. You need a healer. You need a redeemer. You need when we talk about a strong tower, you need that person, that place that you can go to for refuge. I would say Jesus, because in that answer, he's it all. And he is what we call agape. He is that unconditional love. So when I was looking for, because that was the thing, the void that I was looking for was not filled. I had a void that I was looking for. Looking to drugs, I was trying to look into drugs or the money. I thought that would fulfill something. And then I got the money. I was like, that's not it. And then I had women and I was like, that's not it. I had the people around me and I found out they weren't even my friends. That didn't work for me. It was a great void and I'm trying to fill it and I can't fill it. The only thing that can fill that void for me was Jesus. And that's what I would give to any person to this day. If you need an answer, he has all the answers. He provides all the answers that we need.
Well, as you're talking, I'm also noticing something else. You're wearing a wedding ring.
Yes.
When you think back to that young man that was, again, your words, in and out of relationships, I think you even used the word womanizer.
Yes.
What does that ring signify to you now?
Commitment. It signifies commitment, unity, not division. I ran from commitment. I ran from it when I used to hear the word love. And my moms would always tell me, hey, I love you, son. We was raised up on that. I had no understanding what true love meant. I think it started young and I don't know how it got out of whack. I don't know what happened. I say this as a man. We had a lady who used to watch us as a child and I was molested by her as a young person. Anybody that has gone through who've been violated, you never understand what goes on in your body or what goes on spiritually with you for a while, unless someone hears about it, because I never said it to anybody. I never told anybody. It took years for me to say anything. As a male, I ain't gonna say that it's more embarrassing than for a woman. It's a different type of thing. You were to say that to someone, they are looking at you like, what's the big deal? It's a woman. No, when that happened, you look at things all the way different. I was very promiscuous. There were so many things that changed in my life. I ain't gonna say standoffish. I've always been around people and love to be around people. There's so many things that happen to you when that happens that changes your whole demeanor. There were so many things that happened with that. And then other things in my life, when things would come up as far as committing, I was like, nah, I'm gonna do this, or I'll try this. So I wouldn't commit to a lot of things. So when it came to challenges, I didn't want to challenge. I didn't want to deal with the challenge. A lot of things happened in my life. And then I realized, okay, some of this is not just from the molestation, but that was a major part. Then the other things that surrounded my life made me a person who didn't want to commit. As I gave my life to Christ, as my life had changed, as I was going into that place, I can tell that my mindset, it was changing. I knew that once I started to understand, I can say understood, but started to understand what my calling was, or the purpose, and what the Lord was telling me, that it freed me to say, you know what, even though I was this type of person, because my sister and them used to always tell me, somebody gonna hurt you, boy. Somebody gonna hurt your heart. They gonna hurt your feelings because you just reckless. You mess around and you hurt these women, or you hurt their feelings. And I was like, and I didn't understand it. My relationship with the Lord, I was like, man, now I get what you're saying. If I have to be hurt to be whole, then I'm just going to have to go through that. To open myself up, to be vulnerable, whatever that comes with that, I'm just going to have to be okay with that. Lord, you said you would heal me. Anything that I'd ask in your name, it shall be done. So I had to lean on him and give it to him. And so that opened me to commitment. And so when we talk about the ring, so that allowed me to say, man, whatever that comes with this is where I'm at.
Do you feel like your wife has helped with your messiness? Do you feel like she has helped with some of the past baggage to really help, again, like a bed, smooth out the sheet, put on the top sheet, and really make sure everything's smooth and okay again?
Yes, I would say this. So I was already in a place of wanting to change. And then once I was married, it helped me. This is going to sound probably a little different. It helped me when me and her had really started going through. We had children prior to marriage. I've been knowing her since the 7th grade, 8th grade. She's a year older than me. When we started really dating, I was still in the streets. We were both in the clubs and we had kids, and neither one of us were saved. Once we gave our life to Christ, we were not together. So we came back together as we had both come in, but we were both new in Christ. We didn't take time out to date for real because we thought, you a Christian, I'm a Christian, and we got kids together. We know each other. We okay. And we didn't take time out to really date again. We didn't realize we were two different people than we were when we were out there. So we had a lot of maturing to do. So I say it made me a better person when we started feuding and having our problems, and we split a few times. In that, it made me better and a different person. I learned, got deeper in the word and understanding what and who I am and my role in marriage. In spite of how I feel or how I felt towards what was going on, I still had to do and be who I was supposed to be, regardless of what went on. So yes, when you say cleaned up, that cleaned me up and made me a different person, because you have messy friends as well that would come and say, man, you gonna allow, or man, you gonna stick into that, or you gonna stay, or you gonna do that. And I was like, no matter what is going on over there, I'm still daddy. I'm still husband. I still got to do what I'm supposed to do. So it made me different. And I feel like for the better.
That's awesome, Billy. I love the transformation. I love the 19-year-old you.
Yeah.
Really, all he needed was Jesus. I love the fact that you can be vulnerable to say, listen, I was the womanizer. I think you're the first one to ever admit that, by the way. So you win a prize of some sort. I'm not sure what. We'll find something for you in the prize closet. The idea of being that vulnerable, to openly admit that and to say, listen, like Paul said quite often, I don't have it all figured out. I'm still learning. I'm still growing in that. I've always been fascinated by the music industry myself. I've always wanted to be in radio. I've always wanted to have my own radio show, my control, get to decide who comes on and who doesn't, to decide what I talk about, what I don't talk about. It's amazing to me that I've been given an opportunity like this to do this. And I love it. We've been doing it 6 years now, and it's fantastic. And I feel like every week, every month, every year, it gets better and better and better. It really is a rhythm and a routine in my life. Like my wife will say, hey, when are you recording this week? Hey, when are you editing? Like she knows that again is the rhythm and the routine of my life. I respect her for that and have tremendous love for her that she's allowed this project, this passion project, some would even say, to take place. What has music done for you to help me understand that? Listen, I tried to play the trumpet as a child, 6th grade to freshman year. I was not Dizzy Gillespie. Let's just say that. No Miles Davis was in my house. I'm trying to think of another great trumpet player. I'm drawing a blank. No Chiz Ryder. You probably don't know who that is, but people can Google him. He's amazing too. He played for the President Bush. My point is that I was never good at music. Now I love to play music. I love all types of music. Like genre is wide, and I'm country, it's hip hop, it's all of the things. I talked about Babyface. It's all the things. So help me understand music. Has music been messy for you? Has messy been not part of your musical journey? That's been the one, maybe again, smooth, the calmness, the clutter has been gone because music maybe is that great outlet that eliminates all that.
Music has always been a metaphoric part of my life. So I can say, even as a kid, I was just talking to somebody about this. As a young, I was 6, 7 years old, my first talent show. Probably before that, because I know I was in elementary. My mom's had me, I'm talking about preschool. Like I was in like the little play and I was singing and and all that. The first talent show, I was 7, 8 years old. Me and my brother and a good friend that we grew up with, and they were afraid. My brother and them older than me. And I decided I'm still doing this. So I got on the stage and they put the record on, because of course this is when they had records. So they put the album on.
Somebody is Googling a record right now, by the way.
What's a record? What's an album? A 12-inch. Google that, a 12-inch album. They put it on and it started skipping. And so I
like
said,
Milli Vanilli.
Exactly. No. So this is the great part. I asked them, stop it. I'm a kid. I said, just stop. I'll sing it a cappella. So I sung the song from the beginning, from the talking words to the end. I know they was looking at me like, how does this little kid know? It's just always been a major part of not just me, but my family. All of us, even the ones that couldn't sing, that can't sing, it's just been a part of us. We've always come together and sung, danced, just performed, because that's what we did. And that's what we do. All the way up, even, and I say all the way up from there to even in prison. Anybody that knew me and know me that's been in jail knew the singer. I had people when I was in a halfway house. I got a guy named Roosevelt that sees me to this day. I can see him. He's a contractor, does construction, and I see him at Home Depot to this day. And he'll go, and anybody around, sing me a song, man. Sing me a song, because I'll be in the shower. Because in the halfway house, 3 of us in a room, and they could hear me in there singing. It was something that kept me, that even in jail, that kept me, that consoled me even then. Even though I wasn't singing unto the Lord at this time, it was always been a part of my life and my journey. Easy for me, and easier even as I've come away from, I would say, the secular side to the Christian gospel side of it. That really has helped me and been easy, because now I was loving the entertainment at this time and loving that part of people seeing me, versus now wanting people to see the Lord and to hear him, to hear what he has done. It's really been an awesome journey.
I forgot to tell you, before I started my podcast, I thought I could be a worship leader, so I bought a guitar.
Yeah.
And I tried to learn how to play guitar. I thought I could be the next Chris Tomlin.
Yeah.
And I was up on stage and I learned my G chord, my C chord, my D chord, I think it is. And I was ready to go. And somebody looked at me, I kid you not, and they said, Neil, what are you doing? This is not you. This is not what you're supposed to do. And then my wife, again, loving her very much so, 24 years of marriage almost, she said, babe, you got to be able to sing to be a worship leader.
Ooh.
You can't sing. And I was like, no, listen, you can do a lot of amazing things. Singing is not one of them. I put this back on you, like guys like you who have this God-given ability. But one of my favorite musical artists, Toby Mac, is one of my favorites. And I've shook his hand. I've had my arm around him. John Micah Summerall from Cutlass. He's from our area in Southern Oregon. Met him. He's been on our show.
Yeah.
Andy Chrisman, I don't know if you remember For Him, but we had Andy Chrisman come on and I tried to get Andy to sing my favorite For Him song. And he's like, I'm not a monkey. I'm not a trained monkey. I don't just sing on command, Neil. And but Andy, come on. It's a couple bars. And he wouldn't do it. Love Andy dearly if he ever hears this. For me, podcasting, music even takes me to a different place.
Yes.
Even though, again, I can't sing to save my life. I can put on a song, I can put on even a rap song, and I can kind of just fade away for a minute into the song, into the lyrics, into the music. Is that what music does for you? Or help me understand why you gravitated towards music. It sounds like even in the mess of your life, music was, again, maybe like Jesus, always kind of there in the background.
Yes. And that's the key. It is. I can be asleep and the Lord would just put a song on my heart. I mean, I'm talking about dead sleep, 3 in the morning and wake up. And I said, I know my wife probably look at me like, this guy is crazy. And I will wake up, missed him a few times on song. I will wake up and I would get up, come in here where I'm at right now and start writing a song, start putting a song. It's in me. Honestly say to anybody, would never act like I am the greatest gift to the world, to my vocal ability or whatever. What I do have, I know the Lord has gifted me to, first, that I might be a witness and worship him, like the Bible says, worship spirit and the truth. Also, that it might be an element to draw men unto him as well. When he's given it to me, I know it's him. Even when I'm writing a song, when I'm putting a song together, I can honestly look back or listen to the song and go, I know that wasn't me, because I am not that smart. I am not that good. I am not that smart, that good as a writer. Look at myself. I can honestly say that was all God. That was him. It is really just a major part of me. Whether I ever put another album out, whether I go and sing it at a church or do anything, it'll always be a part of my life. I just love music.
If people want to go hear Billy's music, where is the best place they can go and hear your offerings, we'll call them?
Okay. So the first is any platform. When I say platform, I'm just talking about from Apple to Amazon to Spotify to any of those ones. If you want to purchase, we'll just say that first. Those that want to go there, those who just want to see who I am and hear about me, you can go to YouTube. You can go to my site, Byrd Sr. Billy Byrd Sr. or Billy Byrd Music. You can find all of my music. You can find even my sermons, a lot of my messages. I have a thing that I do every Sunday called Bread and Breakfast Service. It's at 9 a.m. every Sunday. So all of these things are on there, but I present my music and everything on that same site. Any of the platforms as far as where you can get music, that's where I'll be at. Some of my other music, you'll see it on Facebook, Billy Byrd Sr. 1. You see it on TikTok, Billy Byrd Sr. 1 as well. And also Instagram, same exact. You can see me on all of those platforms. That's where I'm at.
So what is Main Level? What is that all about?
So Main Level Music, that was the name of our group when I was doing R&B. The Main Level is given to me. Actually, I was the one who came up with the Main Level name. Most people want to be on the main level. Seemed like everything happened. That's where God had put me inside. This is where I have you. I want you on the main level. I want you in a place where you can reach multitudes of people. And this is the floor, even though you might go upstairs and you might go all the way up and do all that. Usually for you to get to where you need to get to, you have to come back down to the main floor, which is the main level. And that keeps me level as well. He don't want me to get above myself or to get haughty, but to stay there. And so that's where that came from, the main level. So Main Level Music is the name of the label that I have.
Greatest musical influence, who would you say that would be?
My greatest influence would be, I like Smokey Norfolk. He's one of my favorite artists. in the gospel side. I had all of the, on the secular side, I had Jackson, I had Marvin Gaye coming up. That's who you listened, and you had these people. As soon as I came in onto the gospel side, I had 3 people: Smokey Norfolk, Jonathan Butler. So Jonathan Butler is a great instrumentalist, jazz person. One of the songs I sing to this day is called "Falling in Love with Jesus." You know the song I'm talking about?
I don't. So far, I'm 0 for 2 on people you've mentioned.
Falling in love with Jesus. Falling in love with Jesus was the best thing I ever done. That's him.
That was good, by the way. That's better than Andy Christman. I just want to put that out there.
I appreciate it. That was like the thing when I came to Christ, was like, man, Jonathan Butler, Smokey Norfolk, and Canton Jones. 3. If you ain't heard of all 3 of them, I need you to look them up.
I'm gonna.
Canton Jones, my style, I didn't get my style from him, but his style of how he does his music is kind of reminds me of me. It's not the traditional, it's just who I am. It's how God had presented me with my music. Smokey Norfolk, his soulful voice, and he's a great minister as well. And then Jonathan Butler, and so soulful and just different. All 3 of those guys. So those were like major parts of me coming into who I am.
If there was a musical artist you could collaborate with, is there one?
And I would say, man, I would love to do something with Jonathan Butler. When I say, man, this guy, so he comes from Africa and he started on the jazz. So he's so great musically. Also, his vocal ability is insane. And I don't even know if he knows how awesome what he does. I just feel like I would love to be able to sit in the room as he plays, because I don't play. I wish I could play the music. So you had to give where you was trying to play the guitar. I was given a keyboard and all the stuff, and I messed with it a little bit, but I just never settled down to play. I love the music part. Matter of fact, I flunked music. So let me tell you that I flunked music because I came in and I just wanted to sing. And they said, no, you need to learn notes. And I said, I want to sing. So I flunked purpose. Like I'm stubborn, and I didn't realize how important it is to know your notes, to know your chords, to know all this. But I was young and silly. So my point is when I hear him play and I hear what he does, it makes me want to sing. So he'd be one I would love to collab with. And Ken Jones as well. My little brother who produced my album actually did some music for Ken Jones. So hopefully one day I'll have that opportunity.
I'm going to have to do some research. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Billy. Give me homework assignments. I don't like it when guests do that. Well, Billy, as we wrap up, I just wanted to, again, thank you so much for sharing your story, what you're about, and to see that even in the messiness, there still can be some harmony. There still can be some melodies. There still can be some ways that we can see that there is not always chaos, that there can be peace. So I appreciate you sharing that.
I appreciate you, man. Neil, man, this is a blessing. This is one of the best interviews of how you have presented the interview. So, and I've had a few that I can say were some of my top, but this is I put this as one of my top interviews. I really enjoyed myself, and I appreciate you, man.
I don't know what to do with that. I'll just say thank you. All right, guys and gals, kids and campers alike, that is it. That is all. That is, in fact, guess what? Our show today. So I'm wondering about this for you because I love what Billy was saying. Listen, maybe you're like me. You're like, listen, Neil, I can play the MP3 player pretty good. I can play the tape deck of old. I can find that station on XM just good and fine. But to sing, if you had to sing for your dinner, sing for your food, how would you do? I just wonder about that for you. Is life so chaotic and so stressful and so messy that you can't find the rhythm? You can't find the routine. You can't find the harmony, perhaps. So how do you do that? What are you gonna do with that this week? Let me know. I'll be curious. I have some ideas for you if you want to know. I have a few. I got some ideas. Let me know. OPSpodcast.com is a great place to let me know. You can let me know on the socials at OPS Podcast Show under Facebook, Instagram, and X. Don't forget this also before we go. Do not ever forget. So important. Remember, when you walk in other people's shoes, you really do get a different perspective on life. I want to thank you so much for listening. By the way, stay tuned till next week. Guess what? We're going to walk in other people's shoes.